time we're going to be taking a look at the Riddler from Wave 16 of DC Universe Classics. And this is the second Riddler figure that we've gotten. The first was the Wave 5, or Series 5, which was a Walmart exclusive, and also a MattyCollector.com exclusive. The primary difference between the two is this is the jumpsuit version, much like the Superpowers figure, or I should say Super Amigos, since his Superpowers figure didn't get released in America, but did get released in Argentina. A slight difference in the number of question marks as opposed to the way he looked on the actual cartoon series. His biography and statistics, a picture of the figure, and you notice a difference in the question marks here are a lot thicker and I guess different kind of typeface, if you can tell. The other figures in the wave, the Collect and Connect figure of Bane. Yeah, so I was excited to get this figure because of the Superpowers. I'm that much closer, or collectors are that much closer to a complete Legion of Doom. The Toyman has already been announced and is in Wave 18, coming sometime in June, I think. It's pretty much a basic buck body here. You don't get any of the fancy new articulation. You get there's a new sculpted head, and the body itself, being a sort of a standard buck, is a lot more muscular than the previous Riddler. The head goes up and down a little bit, left and right. Arms go all the way around, out, and rotate at the bicep, bend at the elbow, and rotate at the wrist. He's got ab articulation and waist articulation, although it is kind of hindered by the belt, which seems to be a separate piece, and it's just really stiff, so I'm not going to force it too much. And the legs go forward, back, out to the side, swivel at the lower thigh, bend at the knee in one joint, and bend at the ankles. Fortunately or unfortunately, he comes with the same cane, question mark cane, that the previous Riddler came with. Maybe if they'd given him a gun also, I think it would have been much better, or maybe, just something else. The cane looks good with him as well. The paint is very good. It's a very vibrant green and purple. Question marks are very nice on there. Skin tone and the purple mask there too. No complaints at all. Just a very good all-around figure. The Riddler, or Edward Nygma, or Eddie Nashton, depending upon what origin, but he's pretty much had the same origin. As a kid, his teacher had this puzzle contest, and he wanted to win so bad that he broke into the teacher's desk and stole the puzzle that was part of the contest and practiced solving the puzzle until he could solve it in under a minute. And when it came time for the actual contest held by the teacher, he obviously won it, solving it in the fastest time And so thus he had his first encounter with cheating and winning by outsmarting people. And the prize of that was a book of puzzles and riddles. Thus, he started his fascination with riddles and intelligence and being smarter and more clever than anyone else. He made his living at first as a carny, cheating people by rigging games or contests in his favor. That kept him amused for a while, but soon he contemplated committing crimes. He escalated to committing major crimes, big heists, even goes so far as to leaving clues to his to the crimes purposely for the police, and then later for Batman to find out, because when he found out that Batman was around in Gotham, he finally figured that there was someone who he could basically face off and compete with intellectually. He views a Batman as someone to compete with for the most intelligent person. Pretty soon his clues and stuff and his beating Batman becomes an obsession with him. Kind of teeters on the brink of insanity there. So he's a long-time foe of Batman, and that actually happened in the 60s because of the live-action television series. More on that later. He did manage to, through somehow, he was in Wayne Manor, and he found the tunnel to the Batcave. Now, he didn't realize that it led to the Batcave, but when he got cancer, and he used a Lazarus pit to revive himself, to cure himself of the cancer, it puts you in a sort of nutso state of shock at first, and that's when he deduces in that state that Batman is Bruce Wayne, and he uses that information, allying himself with Hush and Clayface. Hush, who wants revenge on Bruce Wayne, so he feeds them information about Bruce Wayne and Batman. He is seen in Infinite Crisis in battle against the heroes in Metropolis, and he's injured by the Shining Knight and put into a coma, actually. When he comes out of the coma, he's forgotten about Bruce Wayne being Batman. He kind of sort of remembers that there's some connection, but it hasn't put the pieces together. And with his coming out of the coma, he's declared, I guess, legally sane and excused for the past crimes. He becomes a consulting detective in Gotham City. So again, trying to sort of rival himself with Batman as the smartest guy around. Has actually worked with other sort of reformed or not so reformed villains in, I believe it's called Gotham City Sirens. That's the book with Ivy, Harley Quinn, and Catwoman. going into some of the portrayals of the Riddler, of course, there's the 60s television show. Before the television show, the Riddler only had a few appearances, aside from his first appearance in Detective Comics 140 in 1948. That series really led to the prominence of the character. And, of course, played by the wonderful Frank Gorshin, and once by John Astin, also Gomez Adams. 70s and 80s for the Super Friends show, he was played by, or voiced by, Michael Bell, a very prolific voice actor in the 80s. Going into the 90s and the Batman animated series, he was voiced by John Glover, Lionel Luthor on Smallville, and in the Batman series, he was voiced by none other than Freddy Krueger, Robert Englund, and he had a more goth look to him with long hair and was more kind of technology based. In Batman the Brave and the Bold, he's made a few appearances and voiced there by John Michael Higgins. And of course you have the movie Batman Forever, and played by the comedian Jim Carrey, which gives a little bit more manic portrayal to the character. Not exactly what I want to see in the Riddler. I mean, Frank Gorshin had his manic moments, but there was always some coolness behind the character there. Whereas Jim Carrey just played him as, a nutcase. Even though Batman Forever was my favorite pre-Nolan Batman movie, I still have my problems, lots of problems with it, especially in the portrayal of the villains. So that'll be it for the DC Universe Series 16 figure of the Riddler. And so long until my next review. See ya.